Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. So, last time we finished off Heravius' quest over here, and this time I was kind of looking at what we have left to do. So, we have all of the main quests to do, we have the White Marches to do, and then we have these quests to do. And really, there isn't that much. We also have some tasks, and the tasks are actually two of which are from the DLC, and, well, yeah, one is from the DLC, one's from the Endless Paths, one we're not doing, so we don't need to do any tasks. This one, just travel with Durance, easily attainable. This one is just descend in the Endless Paths, this one is DLC, this one is DLC, this one is DLC, this one is also DLC, and then this one is a main quest. So, yeah. We pretty much just have the main quest to do if that's where we're continuing, and it seems like it might be a good idea to do that. So we're just going to go and kind of head off and do main quest stuff. So let's head on down here. Also, apologies if the mic sounds a little bit different. It should all be fixed by the next episode if it does. Basically, I've had to do a lot of moving around the room and stuff, so we'll see if everything still sounds as it should. It should sound absolutely fine, and if I hadn't brought it up, hopefully you wouldn't have noticed. Anyway, let's get on the boat. Okay, so we need to find the quickest way out of here. Probably going to be down here. Yeah. And I think we're going to head to the inn first, just quickly heal up, because we're a little bit... I mean, Durance is actually the only one who's low in health, and... I mean, I don't expect that we're going to fight, so maybe we'll just head up to Elm's Reach straight away, and then we'll go and heal afterwards. I don't think we're going to fight in this next section. So, let's head over to the tree, and we have to just head inside and apparently talk to the gods, which I wonder whether that's literal or metaphorical or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what it means by talk to the gods, but we'll see. Now, there is an argument that we could bring in a different group of people for this, like maybe some of the more like godly ones, but overall we have a very good kind of collection of godly people. We have Pallegina and Grieving Mother are very much... kind of, I think, Helia followers in that, or like Pallegina is the like she's a godlike of Helia. Grieving Mother is kind of into the whole birth kind of thing, like that's her thing, and that's also Helia's thing. Heravius has connections with Whale and with Galawain. I assume Sagini has I think she has connections with one of the gods as well. She has that kind of spiritual thing going on. And then Durance obviously has much going on with whatever her name is. I've actually forgotten what Durance's one is. Mogren?
What?
I'm going to have to speak to Durance to find out. Questions?
If doubts and curiosity
Magrin.
plague you,
That's it. Magrin. Anyway, so, yeah, we have a lot of people who have a lot of different connections. Now, we have one other person who might bring along, or like should maybe bring along, which is Teir, and that would allow us to speak to, and like he is kind of the person who's into Aethys. But the thing about Aethys is that I think he's dead, isn't he? Like that's the whole point, because Waidwin had his aspect in him and then got blown up by the Godhammer, so it's unlikely that he's going to have anything to say. Who else do we have? We have a Loth who isn't very godly at all, and then we have Kana, who isn't really godly as far as I can tell, and then we have the DLC characters, and I just don't think they'll have anything to say. So
not a problem.
Let's just head on in. Okay, interesting. Is this the whole area? This is the whole area of Teir Evron. So we have several bookshelves. We have a bit in the middle, and we have the blocked passage, I assume. Yeah, that looks like a blocked passage. Yeah, that is where that's where our rival, or the person we're chasing, went in here to Sun and Shadow. It has been like a week since I last played, so some of the names aren't quite as fresh as they were in the previous session, but we'll get back to it. Anyway, let's have a look at what's in all these containers. First one contains a luminescent Adra shard. Crisp flashes of light run through this Adra shard, pulsing on its faceted core like veins of light fueled by a heart of fire. Okay. It's a quest item. Interesting. And now this thing's activated, so presumably we put the Adra in there and it does something. Okay. Next one. Books. 10 Years of Dawn, selected correspondence of Giftbringer Eden and the enigmatic god of cold. Oh, okay, so I think these are meant to tell us about the gods. So this one tells us about Rimgrand. This one tells us about Ondra. This one tells us about Aethys. Yeah, this one tells us about Aethys. Okay. This one this one tells us about Skane. Skane is one that I don't think is going to be relevant to us, but maybe is. Like, Skane was the one that the temple people were worshipping, kind of underground that one time, and then we broke it up. Missives of the Hand Occult. This one is Whale. Okay. And then the next one is Barath. Okay, that's the god of life and death. Take all that stuff. And then we have this one, which has Book of the Hunt, it's Galloway. Yep. Then we have Daily Affirmations of Focus and Efficiency. That is Abaddon. Okay. Then we have Excerpts from the Sermon of Struggle, which is Magrin. Okay. Then we have the Midwife's Memoirs, which is Helia. Yep, that is Helia. And then we have the Queen That Was, and that's Wodika. Yes. Okay. Cool. There were books on all the gods. Presumably this is to tell you about them in case you didn't already know. Okay. So what does this thing in the center do? Ooh. That's neat.
I've never seen anything like this. Almost beats the Southern Lights.
Okay. Oh, interesting. And all these little bits on the floor have like a connection to a god. So, and then these pillars are lighting up. Okay. So we have Rimgrand, Ondra, Skane, Barath, Helia, Magrin, Galloway, and Abaddon. This one must be Whale, because it's the eye, and then this one's Wodika? Yes, this one's Wodika. This one's Whale. Okay. Now, a piercing ring fills your ears as you near Whale Shrine. Interesting. Now, Whale, is he not the god of mystery? So maybe that's why we can't speak to him? Do we not have... Is there not one for... So there isn't one for Aethys at all. Interesting. Was he not, like, leader of the gods or something? Or something like that? Anyway. Let's have a look here. So, which one leads to which one? So, presumably this one is either Rimgrand, Ondra, or Skane. Right? Because that's where those three are. This one is obviously Barath. This one is obviously Helia. This one is Galloway, Abaddon, and Magrin. Maybe. So, who do we want to... Like, if we are speaking to the gods, who do we want to speak to? Well, we want to speak to Helia, because we have a quest to speak to Helia about the Sky Dragon. Also, Helia kind of... We're kind of friends with her, in a way. No, not friends with her, but... We've done things that are good for Helia, I think. Like, we've worked with Grieving Mother, we've worked with Pallegina, we've done the Sky Dragon thing in a way that we think she'll be happy with. So yeah, maybe we'll speak with Helia first. The shrine sits before a bright constellation, its stars forming the oval shape of an egg. A pair of wings sprout from the egg, stretching out to either side. Let's pray. You step before the shrine and prepare to recite the ritual words. Ah. Okay. Okay, let me think. We know what most of these are. So, 10 is obviously Wodika. That one's easy. What's an answer without a question is Whale. Okay, so we got those two. A Singing Ocean Sorrow is obviously Ondra. Struggle is a fundamental... our fundamental nature is Magrin. Survival begins with strength from within. Don't know. All things can be reforged is Abaddon. There is life and death. Death and life is Barath. I think Live Every Note of Life's Song is Helia. Because I seem to remember her being kind of into the... Like, the guy who was the priest of Helia was talking about the... He was talking about how she was the god of the arts and things like that as well. So I think that works. I think that one might be correct. Your words seemed to ring in the air. Your voice rendered melodic and light and lilting by some unseen art. You kneel. While you pray, you feel the space around your body shift and melt, and you find yourself in a vision of a mountaintop temple. You see neither worshippers nor a dragon, but a tree. Its limbs wrap around the perimeter of the temple, tapering into twigs and branches of all sizes and angles. They seem too long and too numerous to be held up by the meagre trunk, but they hold steady in the breeze. A single sparrow lands on the nearest branch. It watches you. Okay, I seek an audience with Helia. The sparrow cocks its head in that particular bird-like fashion. Okay, I assume the sparrow is Helia, maybe? Let's try whistling to it. You whistle the first tune that pops into your head. The sparrow blinks its beady eyes and hops closer to you along the branch. It bobs its tiny head and opens its beak. The rich, trilling melody that spills forth is a song of a chorus of birds. A massive flock descends with a thundering of wings and whooping, screeching, chirping calls. They fill the boughs of the tree by the thousands, birds of every shape, size, colour nestling next to each other. Pelagina sighs heavily. To be honest, I can't really stand birds. A breeze ripples through the air. The limbs sway, creaking with a strange, gentle rhythm. A few hundred of the birds flit from their branches, forming a brilliantly variegated flock in front of the tree. As they meet and swoop in unison, you catch a glimpse of someone looking back at you, cloaked by the flurry of feathers. Watcher, I believe we stand in the legendary court of birds. I feel a presence, warmth and hope.
You journeyed to my temple and found the dragon. Yet instead of driving it off, you allowed it to stay. The songs of my faithful will never again fill the nest, and the beast and her young will slaughter many to feed their hunger.
Okay. If we had lore, we could maybe talk to... I assume lore would allow us, like, some knowledge of history that might bring into this. Like, we could say, but in the past, X, Y, Z. But we don't have that. She won by might doesn't sound like Helia's thing. I think dragons, like your birds, are creatures of the sky. Every life bears a cost.
Yes, and each should create wonders of commensurate value. What does a dragon create?
Okay. Fire would not work. That would be a Magrin thing. Death is a Barath thing. More dragons? I don't think that's a path to go down. I think beauty. Remember, she's the god of kind of art and music and stuff as well. Beauty, they're great and powerful and colourful. They are a marvel to behold.
Their might inspires countless songs and tales, and the span of their wings fills canvases across Eora. And you are one whose soul is filled with the same passionate energy. Indeed, you are the right person to end this tragedy.
I'm listening. The birds return to the tree and nestle amongst their peers. The breeze ripples through the branches again, carrying the goddess's voice.
You must stop Theos, and you must undo the tragedy he has wrought.
There is a way, Watcher. There is hope yet. Theos acts, but is moved by another. The exiled queen whispers in his ear, urges him to rob the living and the unborn of their souls for her benefit, and he has obeyed. She will consume them, grow powerful while 1,000 empty children are born. But there is still time to reverse this tragedy. Okay. Why would Wodika do this? Because she prizes authority over mercy, laws over kith. She values the souls of mortals not for the beauty they create, but for what they can add to her power. She fears animancy. She believes mortals may use it to usurp the god's power, her power. She cares nothing for the innovation of kith. And how could she? She gives commands, not inspiration. Okay. It sounds like Theos has collaborated with her for a long time. You know already that he has lived many lives. In each, it has been her voice in his ear, guiding him to serve her ambitions, urging him to protect her interests. The melody of birds grows mournful. And each of his lives has been one stanza after another in a song of devotion to the Oathbinder. Okay, so why can't you stop Theos? All the gods, even Wodaka, are bound by an oath. We sing one harmony, and Kith sing another. And though we may introduce a new melody in hopes the mortal ears will hear it and sing it back, we do not interrupt their chorus. To do so would unleash a cacophony between the gods, one that would overwhelm our song and yours. But Wodaka sings her tune to Theos. I would likewise sing mine to you. Okay, how can I return things to the way they were? Guide the trapped souls back to the bodies they were stolen from, hollowborn children whose eyes have never seen the sun. Would it truly be mercy? Even while it might dry the tears of the parents, mothers and fathers who tended their children, sheltered them. It would confine children to half-grown bodies their souls have never known, bodies ravaged by years of confinement. The cruel salvation, worse. You could restore them, give the families hymns of joy after years of lament. Peace and restoration give purpose to suffering. There is no meaning, no redemption in pain that does not lead to fulfillment. Symmetry demands that great rejoicing follows suffering such as this. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not sure though it's entirely possible to undo the harm Theos has caused. Surely those words can heal. Or don't you think the long absences could be overcome? Perhaps the years cannot be forgotten, and for some, perhaps it is already too late. But if you could restore even one soul, kindle one spark of life, raise one voice in joy, it would be worth it. Perhaps it would be better to allow these souls to find new lives. Would that we could heal their souls, their scars as well. Their years of suffering cannot be undone, and may weigh heavily on their lives. Yes, this is the difficult mercy. How can they continue to another when they have not fully lived this life? To pass them along to another now is cutting a stanza from a poem, a verse from a song. Okay, well thank you Helia, I will continue to Sun and Shadow.
When you reach the burial isle, you will find souls there that I have granted reprieve for their sins. I give these to you, for only they can bear you to safety on your journey down. And when you face Theos and the rotting fruits of his endeavors, remember the conversation we have had. In that moment you will have power rivaling a god's, and after it, you will live in the world that you have chosen.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, we gain 2 bits of party experience because we finish a part of this quest and a part of another quest. Cool.
Choose Restoration, Watcher. Return the souls to the bodies they were stolen from. Swear to me that you will do this, and I shall give you power to make even Wodaka quake. I can be merciful and terrible, Watcher.
Interesting. She is saying choose restoration, all that, saying give us the power to make Wodaka quake, but I don't think she's talking about being terrible to Wodaka. I think she's talking to us. She's saying, betray me, and I shall smite you down. Okay. While this is the hope I once held to, I now see it as a false mercy, an extension of suffering. Snatching these souls from their lives was Theos' crime. Let us not add to it by snatching them from their natural cycles. I would hear what the other gods have to say first.
Wait! I'm not done with you.
Oh, okay. Who is this that speaks in anger? You owe Pallegina some answers. I guess, yeah, if she wants them. Questions flutter and circle in her mind. Let her ask what she will.
It's not often that any of our kind get the chance to speak to their... What should I call you? My mother? Father? Those words seem to fall short and yet be too generous, given our history.
You're angry with me.
What did you expect? Should I be happy? To be like this? To live like this? What kind of creator does this to her creation and abandons it in a world this cruel?
And should I have plucked you from your home, wrapped you in my wings, and brought you to a nest like this one? Some tranquil and harmonious place far from the war chants and battle dances you love so well? Tell me what you want.
All I've ever wanted from any of your kind is to take some responsibility. Any responsibility for what you've done. To us. To every one of the children you've abandoned.
You are a song of ferocity, and one I love well. I hear your furor and rage, and it is music. Your prowess and valor leave a trail like a tapestry upon the world. I would not dampen your song, even with the comfort of my wings.
What does that mean? Come back here!
I'm sorry you didn't get the answers you were looking for, Pallegina. You deserve better.
We all deserve better.
Interesting. So she is definitely not happy with her patron. We didn't get too much of that before, but we definitely got it there. What's this? We got a new quest? The Skybreaker. An aged wizard has been travelling up and down the northwest coast of Dyrwood, performing experiments. Locals have never been certain if the wizard is taking advantage of the weather or whether she is causing the phenomena herself. Okay, let's assign someone to that. Let's assign Devil of... let's assign Zawa. There we go. Right. Interesting. Oh, we have to talk to Durance about Wodika. Interesting. I suppose we can do that. Yeah, and then we've got the way to descend the pit in Burial Isle. Okay, if we want to.
What?
Let's talk to Durance about Wodika.
What is it, Watcher?
Does what we learned about Wodika trouble you?
It stinks of her. It is justice, but if her greater purpose was to think Margaret would fall prey to such deceit. And Aethys, Widewind had always claimed to be invading Dyrwood to free it. What if it were true? What if he had come to stop Wodika's plot before it began? Surely Aethys earned his death at Godhammer Citadel, but not for those reasons. Not to keep him silent. If such a thing has brought about this chaos...
Durance tilts his head as if listening to an inner voice, then he frowns, the frown deepening as he speaks.
Must we always be tools of gods? If Wodika and Margaret, if they are the cause of this, the hollowborn, if the purges were never necessary, if Aethys was fighting back...
So we can say the Godhammer didn't save Dyrwood, it doomed it. That's a little bit dark. Aethys needed to be stopped, and so does Wodika. That sounds like one we might go with. It's kind of like both of them are doing things that are like wrong and interfering, and they should both be stopped. The hollowborn were the crime of another god. Whatever the reason, Aethys still sought to murder others, inflict his will on others. Would it have been better if you had been spared this knowledge? It's a lot to take in. I think 3. Whatever the reason, Aethys still sought to murder others, inflict his will on others.
I know. It had to be done, yet there would have been times where I would have stayed my hand. Wodika, she must answer to her own justice.
Would it have been better if you had been spared this knowledge?
No, I am glad to have walked this far with you, seen this truth. Perhaps it was what I was meant to see, with a watcher's eyes. All these dances of words and intrigues, machines of men, twisted, ripping the souls of children, and by the gods, the goddess of justice. If I could end her like Aethys, Margaret burned her once. One can do so again. Wodika, she must answer to her own justice.
Oh, I wonder what we could say if we were a priest. Anyway, justice or revenge?
Anyone with a shred of spirit seeks both justice and punishment. It burns in the heart of anyone who lives. All seek it. If the world does not balance, we all drown in the oceans. And the gods would not care. Margaret, she must be redeemed, and punishing Wodika, that will serve.
Okay. So we can say Magrin was allied with Woda because she tried to kill all the makers of the God Hammer, or do we know that Magrin was not a willing accomplice? Let's try the first one. It's a little bit less accusatory. Do we know that Magrin was not a willing accomplice?
Is this some final joke at my expense? To test my faith further? And why would you think that, Watcher?
I'm not certain, it's just a feeling. That doesn't sound good. The others who made the God Hammer, they all died, didn't they? That's why I saw the symbols fade from your staff. Because she didn't want anyone knowing how the God Hammer had been made. No one knows how it came to be except a few among Magrin like yourself. You said you let Ash fall without telling anyone of your departure. Let's go for 4. The others who made the God Hammer, they all died, didn't they? That's why I saw their symbols fade from your staff.
If all you have are questions, then I have enough of those. She is a bitch of a goddess, to be sure. But even a whore only goes so far in crossing those she serves.
You said you left Ash fall without telling anyone of your departure?
You answer a question with a question. Then why did I feel her disappointment at Halgot? Why were we shamed?
Oh, we can use our mechanics for this. Because I think she tried to kill you there.
Kill me? She is a goddess. I still drink from her burning breasts, Watcher. If she wished me dead, she could trace me to my source and kill me.
In the dream of the God Hammer, your spirit looked blurred, indistinct in the light, as if it had been sheared from you. Durant stares at you, his expression frozen. He's silent, but listening. As if you'd been damaged, as I saw in the God Hammer's vision. Then she might be unable to see you as you once were. Durant turns from you for a moment, his face twisted in thought, conflicting emotions running across his features. Finally he turns to you, his face steady.
There's no proof, Watcher. I was a fool to think you could help me see any farther than I could.
If you don't trust me, then trust your staff. Admit that the other God Hammer builders are dead. Durant turns to the staff, and for a moment you see his eyes burning, taking in the edge of the wood, symbols inlaid there, the 11 faded circles.
They died in the blast, yes. The other 11. I was the only one to walk away. I thought we had wronged our goddess. That this was my trial, and if I could prove myself worthy of her! I should have known better. There is only one God of redemption, and I saw him ended.
Ooh. As he studies the staff, you feel a wave of heat, a terrible energy rolling forth from it in waves. So much so it feels as if the God Hammer itself is alive in his hands, and past it you hear a cry like a child being born, and your eyes feel the flash of white, then 100 imagined shades of purple and white streaming and circling into the howling of a storm, and beneath it, the grinding of ancient machines of stone, rock, and metal, grinding and turning until all around you feels as if it's burning, sinking into the shadows of the earth, beneath the ground, the only place where the spirit might find refuge. When your vision clears, you see Durant, his hands clutching the staff. His eyes are bright, burning red. Atop the staff, the flame burns cleanly, brightly. As his gaze burns, he rips his gaze away and howls, a bellowing, horrid howl, like a wounded animal, and sweat pours down his brow. We can see that justice is served, to her and Wodaka both.
To think I served her, I followed her. Now I shall serve no one. Wodaka's lies must be answered. And now it seems I must take fire and war from a goddess's false claim as well. I still take from her strength as I did, for as long as it lasts. For I shall not cast her aside yet, until I have drained her dry and had my fill, just as she intended for me. For I have learned one of the lessons of the faithful. The faithful may wound a goddess greater than any enemy. A purification is coming, and this fire shall consume them both.
Okay, let's continue. Wow. So, yeah, Durance is going to war with the god. It's a bold move, bold move. Oh, we finished the other quest while we were sitting here. The process of tracking the storm, Zawa discovered the old wizard had somehow transformed herself into a unique type of magic blight. In the storm-like form, she continued to float around above the Dyrwood, unable to shift back. Zawa was able to adorously communicate with her by observing the confusing series of thunderclaps. The wizard directed Zawa to her laboratory. After performing a small series of operations in the lab, Zawa was able to return the grateful wizard to her natural form. In gratitude, she gave Zawa a storm-generating rod. Alright. Neat, I guess. Cool. Right. Let's speak to the next god, I guess?
What?
Well, I mean, we have level ups to do. Let's do level ups first. We may be here a couple of episodes, so let's do level ups. So, Haravius. Survival's where it needs to be, lore's where it needs to be. I think we're going 2 points in athletics. Right. And then we get Spell Mastery, a level 3 spell. Now, what do we want him to do? Let's think about Haravius. Let's think about how we use Haravius. What we do, first thing in every combat, pretty much, is we turn him into going to go hit things form. Then, we run him away after that's done. So he's kind of at the end of combat. Things are probably dead at that point. We're kind of going down to the last couple of enemies, I would guess. What kind of things do we like? Returning Storm. Brings a powerful storm into being, striking a random single enemy in an area of effect, which will stun. That's quite useful. It's kind of a general stun. It lasts for 39 seconds. That's a really good one. It's really good against us. Spreading Plague is a disease hobble bounce. I don't really like those. Staghorn is straight damage. We don't need straight damage. He has damage. Twin Stones. I think actually Returning Storm sounds really good. We'd probably cast Returning Storm, switch into shape-shifting form. In fact, I don't need to look at the rest. We'll go Returning Storm. There we go. Then we get the next level of spells as well. Fantastic. Cool. Then we have Pallegina, which we'll put our points into. She's got 4 in survival. I think we just leave her. I think we leave her there. And then we have to choose a Paladin ability. Okay. Let's see what we got. Abjuration. Through force of will, the Paladin can destroy any spirit or summoned creature below the Paladin's level. Interesting. Ones greater than the Paladin's level take raw damage. That's pretty good. The ability to destroy spirits is very good. It's a lot of raw damage. I don't know if that's what we use Pallegina for, and I think it's too specialized to be generally useful. Sacred Immolation. Okay. Each time the ability pulses, the Paladin takes a small amount of raw damage, but enemies in the area take burn damage. Allies receive a small amount of endurance. Okay, how much damage you take? 6. Now, I'm going to back out here. Pallegina has an ability I think is useful to look at here. As we gave her one of these. It's not this one. It's Veteran's Recovery. So this one gives her 6.7 every 3 seconds. So, she actually gains 6 every 3 seconds. So what we might want to do is we might want to just go here and give her this one. It's once per encounter. How long does it last? 34 seconds. So for 34 seconds, she'll do burn damage around her and heal people around her. She can use it once per encounter, and she doesn't take any damage because of Veteran's Recovery. That's really good. Okay, cool. Let's see what else we got here. Healing Chain. We don't really use her to heal, but it could be useful. Haste is useful. It's on 1 target and it's 20% attack speed, but it is 3 per rest. I don't tend to like those. Although we do rest more than we used to. Reinforcing Exhortation. It's good. If we were to use her with like Eddie or something, we could buff his deflection to insane levels, but I'm not sure I like it. Deprive the Unworthy. I don't really like it. It's beneficial effect removing. Sworn Enemy is pretty good, but again, it's not really what you use her for. Zealous Charge isn't really what we use her for. Liberating, not really what we use her for. I think Sacred Immolation is something that she can use. It doesn't really affect anything else apart from it just makes her more effective at like dealing AoE damage, and it is a heal, which is nice as well. So we'll take it. It's kind of like a passive heal. So that seems like a really good one to use.
I'm ready.
Yeah, it's just another ability on the thing. It's a reasonable range as well. If we were to have, say, a couple of melee people, that could work out really well. Cool. Let's go speak to another god then. Who do we want to speak to next? We've talked to Helia. We could talk to Galloway, Abaddon, and Magran next. Find out whether Durance has anything to say. Yeah, let's see what Durance has to say here. Before the shrine sits the constellation of a snarling hound, fangs bared. Okay, so this is Galloway's. Let's pray to Galloway. Okay, Galloway. Struggle is our fundamental nature. Sounds familiar. I think or survival begins with strength from within. I think we need to read Galloway's thing. His book should tell us, I think. Right. Which one is Galloway's book is going to be the next question. We have a lot of books. Are these just sorted by the order we got them? Because that'd be great. This is sorted by the order we got them. Fantastic. Unless we already had Galloway's. We did, but we got it again. Okay, cool. I'm looking. One must struggle every day to feed his pack. Survival begins with strength from within. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Right. Survival begins with strength from within. The air around you stirs, and a gust of warm wind blows across the back of your neck. You catch the faintest smell of wet earth. As you kneel in front of the shrine, you feel yourself pushed forward. You catch yourself on your hands and knees, feeling warm, damp ground beneath them. Looking around, you find yourself crouched in a clearing in the middle of the woods. The smell of dirt hangs heavy in the air. You feel certain this is a vision, but the hairs on the nape of your neck still rise. Something leaps from the bushes. You find yourself pinned on your back, staring into the amber eyes of a massive hound. The beast looks at you. Gleaming fangs protrude from the sides of its mouth. Its nose twitches as it inhales your scent, starting at your shoulder and proceeding down the length of your arm. You follow its nose to your hand, which is covered in blood. A tongue, as red and meaty as a steak, lolls out of its mouth and swipes your bloody hand. Its lips curl into what looks like a smile. The beast looks back at you. As it fixes you with its glowing eyes, its muzzle retreats into a long, bearded face, and its pointed ears lengthen, dropping to the sides of its head. What was a massive hound becomes a giant of a man, his broad, muscled shoulders draped with furs. He holds a flint knife to your neck and grins, revealing a row of long, pointed teeth.
Tread carefully. Let my face be a warning sign to always treat Galloway and his messengers with caution and reverence.
The lioness reigns still, and soon her cubs will rise. Why did you strike the bear down?
The lioness had found an advantage and held it. Her cunning made her the more deserving champion. Maybe. So this is, in case you've forgotten, about the bear and the lioness we found in Galloway's maw. Okay. Soul's cubs will be mightier still one day. That legacy must be protected, even from a worthy contender. If Eronis could not seize his victory, he did not deserve it. Okay. Let's think about this. So, Galloway, you must struggle every day. What else did we have? We had, survival comes from within. I don't know. I think that if Eronis could not seize his victory sounds reasonable. Soul's cubs will be mightier one day sounds like a Helia answer, not a Galloway answer, and the lioness had found an advantage and held it. Her cunning made her the more deserving champion. Cunning's not really what he's about. That's more a whale thing, I think. So if we say if Eronis could not seize his victory, he did not deserve it, we're saying that Eronis did not have the strength within. I think that's the right answer.
Worthiness is proven in conflict. Might grappling with might. Flesh tears, bones break, and the ones that mend are stronger still. Blood mixes, and the worthier substance rises to the top. And you have proven worthy.
Fantastic! Yeah, we got the right answer, I think. Or at least we're worthy because we killed Erroneous. He lets out a howl that rings through the air. He lowers his head, puffs of steam rising from his panting mouth. Twigs crunch and branches snap. The ground shivers under the weight of pacing, prowling footsteps. A dozen beasts, bears, wolves, and long-fanged cats stalk out of the undergrowth, their matching amber eyes fast on you. Is this how you would threaten us, Galawain, with cats and dogs? As the beasts encircle you, their master rises to his feet. Even the largest of bears can only reach his rounded, muscle-knotted shoulders. You stand, mindful of the ring of predators surrounding you.
You sought and won the favor of Galawain. What new prey do you now pursue?
I hunt Theos.
To track a quarry, you must understand its movements. And Theos follows the path of a more powerful master.
A warm breeze carries the smell of smoke and gunpowder. Sparks ignite and float in the draft, catching the leaves over Galawain's head. A sudden blast of heat scalds your face, and even as you turn away, a flash of light sears your vision through your eyelids. When you look back, you see a woman in full plate standing next to Galawain. Her mirror-polished armor flickers with images of reflected flames. You can't see her face, but her voice is strong and clear like the ringing of steel.
Let him know his foe.
Magrin.
Theos has trapped thousands of souls in sun and shadow like rabbits in a snare. Now, he goes there to retrieve the kill for his master Magicka. She will feast on them, suck their marrow, grow strong on their essence.
Why would Theos help Magicka?
Because he is her hound. He has always done her bidding.
So far, same story.
Magicka stands for an old order. So does Theos.
A golem made of blackened pitted iron steps out of Magrin's shadow. His movements are slow yet precise, each footfall accompanied by the groaning and grinding of metal. The steady orange glow of the furnace coal emits from its eye sockets.
They both fear change, and the Dyrwood has changed much recently. People find answers not in the gods, but in animancy, the product of their own labors.
And why not? When they have learned that even a god can be killed.
Okay, animancy doesn't seem to trouble you. The three gods seem to look at one another. One of the wolves sits and scratches its neck with quick strokes of its hind legs.
The clash of ideas, the search for answers and meaning. These are other hunts.
Okay.
This is the destiny of Kith, to struggle and transform, even through animancy.
And to improve. Steady labor and earnest industry elevate Kith above wilder and beast. It is also useful that they should learn to improve their souls, whether through struggle, transformation, or labor. On this, at least, we have no disagreement.
You have disagreement on other things? If only all the gods' followers were as open-minded as you about animancy as you three. You haven't done anything to stop Theos.
There is a pact. One Magicka herself has just barely kept. We gods must allow mortals to direct their own affairs.
This limit keeps peace between us.
So Magicka directs Theos, and he does her will.
And these gods do the same with us.
It is not our fight.
What should I do about it?
Track Theos. Follow the trail he has left for you, and corner him in sun and shadow.
You must stop him before he empowers Magicka.
And if you do, you will have a different decision to make.
I have a really bad feeling that this decision is a trap. I mean, how often do the gods really leave the decisions up to mortals like us?
Good point.
Souls were ripped from the world, ripe and full and pulsing with essence. Scatter them like bones to a pack of dogs. Their essence will strengthen the souls of the Dyrwood. Let the remains of the dead feed the survivors.
Why would I feed the lost soul's essence to the rest of the Dyrwood?
To breed strength. Power is born from the mixing of essence and blood.
What Theos did cannot be undone. Thousands of lives have changed, and thousands more have ended because of his actions. But transformation gives purpose to trial.
And improvement is the goal of all Kith. Long lives, prosperous futures, stronger minds and bodies. Strengthening those who remain will help repair the damage that Theos has done to the Dyrwood.
Okay. If Wodika can accomplish this, then perhaps she deserves her victory? I don't think that's something we should say. Nor do I say I don't see why I should care, but now I've got to find Theos seems like one.
And when you descend the pit to Sun in Shadow, you can count on our assistance to see you safely through. As I hope we can count on yours when you reach the bottom. There are many souls upon the burial isle that are sworn to serve us. They belong to you now, and they shall guide your descent.
Beware the promises of a God Watcher. They are binding, but only in one direction. The beasts grow restless, pawing the ground and eyeing you with renewed interest. The bear sniffs at the ground next to your leg. One Stelgar skulks into the circle, its amber eyes glowing. Galawain hurls a knife between your feet, sinking it to its handle. He raises his empty hand.
Hunt him, mortal. And when you stop him, let the souls he has captured feed the Dyrwood.
Strengthen the souls of those who remain. Prepare them to face the challenges that will follow. Pledge that you will do this, and we will grant you a power fit for the finest warrior who ever lived.
Betray us, and my beasts shall track you down. Our allegiance is not to be accepted and cast aside.
My friend, this is a most auspicious moment. The Lord of the Hunt has spoken to you without omission or riddles. Heed what he said about his beast seeking you out should you stray from the task, for it is not an empty promise.
I would hear what the other gods have to say first.
Consider and calculate, but decide.
Galawain's hand falls, and the growling pack lunges into the circle. The vision vanishes in an instant, returning you to Teir Evron, where burning candles replace the glowing eyes of Galawain's beasts. Okay, well, we are going to end the episode here for today. Thank you for watching. Next time, we will speak to the remaining two gods, and then we'll see exactly where we're going from there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.